All right. Hello. Oh, we started?
Hello.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Okay. What's going on, E? How you doing today?
So, guys, I'm feeling under the weather, but I am here because we got a lot of good, important stuff to talk about. So, just have to make it work. That's what we got to do.
That's
There's
what we got to
no
do.
lazy days out here. It's just work, work, and more work.
I agree. I agree. But okay, so today though is going to be a little bit fun, I think, right? Because we're going to kick it off with like some fun facts or whatever. So if you guys are coming in, of course, thank you so much. This is Cash Out on Cannabis on the Minorities for Medical Marijuana page. And so this is where me and Eric Foster get a chance. I'm Cimone Casson, and I'll let Eric introduce himself, but we get a chance to kind of talk about cashing out on cannabis. And usually we're talking about the two streets that really count, which is Main Street and Wall Street, and how that can kind of make us create pathways for social economics and policies and a host of other things. So I'm going to go ahead and let Eric introduce himself because I could go on all day. How you doing, Mr. Foster?
I'm doing good, Simone. So, my name is Eric Foster. I am the Vice President for Strategy and Business Development for Banks and Company, an African American owned public affairs firm in Michigan. I'm also the National Policy Director for Cannabis and Hemp for Minorities for Medical Marijuana. As we are in March, I'm entering my 1 year, first year, full year of being in this particular role, which has been a lot of fun because there's a lot going on out here in these streets as it relates to commercial marijuana as well as hemp and the medical applications, the retail applications, and the like. And it's been fun to help change things and make things work more effectively for what this industry is going to be. So
You
glad to
are
be here.
you are definitely a change agent, along with everybody on our team. Of course, we want to give big ups to our CEO and founder, Ms. Roz McCarty, and our chairman and CFO, Eric Range, which always makes all of this stuff possible. If you are not a member and you're just following Minorities for Medical Marijuana, make sure you get over to our website at m4mmunited.org, right? And find out how you could be a member of a winning team, right? We are the dopest people in cannabis right now. So definitely want to give us to that. So today we are talking about the hype around hemp. Right. So if you have been, unless you've been living under a rock, I know everybody's been hearing so much about cannabis and getting into the marijuana industry and becoming, usually a dispensary or a grow or processing, which is still regulated by the states. And each state has their own rules and regulations and compliance things that you have to meet. But what is federally legal is hemp. And it usually has an easier entry point than a lot of the other states and get into marijuana. So before we jump in and we get into all of the bars, I want to give you guys some fun facts about hemp. You ready, Eric? I bet you listen to stuff that you don't even know.
Yeah, probably a lot. I always learn something from you every day, Simone.
Ah, you're so sweet. Okay. Eric, did you know that hemp can produce more than 25,000 products? So do me a favor. Everybody that's listening to me right now, do me a favor. I want you to close your or pan your room, whatever room you are in. Just about every single thing that is in your room, from paint to furniture to the floors, hemp makes a more superior product.
Wow. Okay. Did not know that.
Did you know that? See, but I got more. I just started.
Okay. All right.
All right, cool. What else we got? Hemp paper is more durable than wood-based paper. And if you go into museums right now, you will see that the paper made from wood has a yellowish tint after hundreds of years. And if it's made out of hemp, it doesn't.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I got a good one for you, though.
Okay. What's next?
This one. Did you know that a hemp seed is actually a nut? It
No.
is categorized as a nut, like an acorn or anything else, because it can be made into milk, it can be made into cheese, it can be made into all of these durable products. So it is technically classified as a nut.
Wait a minute. You can make hemp milk?
You can make hemp milk like almond milk.
Good Lord.
Yes.
Who?
I don't make this stuff up. You can go and read about it.
And
Okay.
I'm usually anti-nut person. Walnuts, pecans, pistachios,
But if
all that.
someone likes
I'm anti, but obviously hemp has some. Hemp might be all right. Hemp might
yep,
be all
so hemp oil, just like just like anything else that we extract the oil from, they're usually nuts, right? Cheese substitutes, protein powders, milk. So it is considered technically a nut.
right. Okay.
It's
All
like
right.
almond, right? Now, this is a big one, and especially for individuals as we start to go in a little bit further and we talk about these opportunities. Hemp can be grown in any climate. Now, of course, we do know that there are some climates that are very that are more beneficial and superior. Like when we talk about Kentucky, we talk about Tennessee's and the Carolinas. Something about that middle of the United States has the perfect soil for it. But hemp can actually be grown anywhere in any climate.
Okay. All right.
All right, and then we're
Wow.
gonna give you one last one.
So
Oh,
basically, you can grow hemp from Europe to South
anywhere.
America
Hmm.
to
Yep.
Alaska to Florida. Okay. All
Hmm.
right. That's a versatile plant.
And then, of course, China is still the biggest grower and dealer of hemp in the world, and they have been. They've had that spot for quite some time.
Okay. Well,
Right?
that's another thing for some folks in the pro dictatorship movement in America to be upset about. They'd be like, them
Well,
damn Chinese country people. Good Lord.
I mean, but we gotta, there is a lot of hype around hemp. And one of the things, Eric, that you and I talk about a lot, I think, when we talk about getting into the cannabis space, which cannabis is all encompassing, right?
Yes,
So
it
it's cannabis is the big thing, but we have hemp and marijuana, right?
yes.
One is euphoric and one isn't. But when we talk about these things, I think that we have to really understand that there are a lot of opportunities in hemp. One, because in most places it is a lower entry point, meaning
Yes.
that the cost to get into the businesses is a little bit lower. In addition to that, we also look at a lot of opportunities that are there, from government contracts to co-op farming, and then we have
Mhm.
a host of different other things. So we're really going to dig deep into this. So I'm going to get my questions together for you. You ready?
All right. All right.
All right. I had to pull them up. Hold on. All righty. Okay. So, what would you, if I was somebody and they're watching us right now, right? And if you guys have questions, please jump in, put them in the chat, let us know. This is a conversation that should continues to be had. If you get a chance, like and share this video. If you know somebody that was trying to get into the cannabis space, didn't know, hey Jay, how you doing? Didn't know how to get in. This is a great opportunity. So, what would you say? How would you, what would you tell people? What's some of the ways that they can get into the hemp game? Because I got some, and I know you got some.
Okay. So direct licensing happens at the state level. Now, the good thing is because hemp is federally legal, the federal government has rules and guidelines that you have to follow and abide with. But after that, then at the state level, each state then sets up laws and administrative rules after that, and they set up licensing. There's two types of licenses, there's cultivation and producer. So hemp is a lot simpler in that aspect than the marijuana side, which has a wide range of license types.
Mhm.
The cost of application is usually significantly lower than it is to get into a marijuana license. You do deal with your local zoning requirements, but instead of having to go through getting local licensing, as you do in some states, as a part of your licensing, you're really just dealing with the local community for traditional rules for either agricultural businesses, farming, or for industrial businesses, producers, manufacturers. So you're just dealing with the normal zoning rules, nothing special, nothing extra out of the ordinary. And every 2 years, the federal government updates the Farm Bill, which is the governing federal statutory law that covers hemp as well as other farm aspects. And then everything drops down from there. States update their rules and regulations and the like. There's also hemp research. So, research for hemp as it relates to both medical applications, for expanding the industrial product applications. Hemp is as Cimone mentioned, hemp is multi talented. It is using both the left hand and the right hand. It's ambidextrous. And so it's not just for personal use, it's for industrial use. So if you're a hemp farmer or you're a hemp producer, you can create products and sell to construction industry, textile, consumer products, packaging. I mean, guys, I know a lot of people get excited about the commercial marijuana sector, and unfortunately, a lot of people get stuck in, I want to open up a retail store. But let's be real. There's a lot more money you can make in that hemp side if you look at it and take advantage of it, because it's not just personal application, but it's industrial application. You can sell to businesses.
Yep.
And you can sell internationally. That's the other thing too, guys. Because it's legal, import export. Now I know some people say import export. Yes, you can sell products overseas. That gives you more opportunities to make money. Come on now.
Well, I definitely agree with everything that you said. I think you hit a lot of great points talking about the B2B. And I think that this is really an opportunity that a lot of minorities can take advantage of and really be able to build some real good wealth. And Derek, we're going to take your question in 1 second. Just, I'm going to, what's the smallest square footage needed to be profitable? And I'm gonna let Eric take that question. But before we answer that question, I want to answer something. So, in addition to it being federally legal, one of the things that you can obtain is crop insurance, right? And so this is different than the insurance that I have to do for dispensaries or major businesses. So I want to bring this and put this into your mind. So with the insurance that we have now for dispensaries, grows, processing, manufacturing, we look at the risk. Those are going to be indoor situations. And so at that point, then in most cases, they're going to be indoor because that's more protective, right? And in those instances, they're responsible for the full premium. But because hemp is considered agricultural, they're able to be offered what we consider subsidized crop insurance. What that means is that the government will pay 50% of your premium. Now, you're probably saying to me, Cimone, well, what kind of insurance am I going to cover? Usually it goes in two parts. There is a yield base, right? Okay. So everybody say that with me, yield-based insurance.
Yield-based insurance.
Yield-based insurance. And so what that means is that in the event that there is a drought, excess water, all those things that just make farming kind of hard, if those are the case, then they will insure up to 80%, 50 to 80% of your crop. And how we look at it is we look at what you yield the year before or then we do a projected yield. Now, to Eric's point, that has to be deemed in the municipality that you're in. Now, and Melissa, we're going to get all of these questions next before we go into the next.
Can I add to that point? In the first one? So, guys, this is important because if you're in the western part of the country, we've been in, and it doesn't get talked about a lot, but look, climate change is real. Stop playing. I'm a spiritual person. I'm saved and believe in Jesus Christ, saved by the Holy Spirit. But climate change is real. We can mess up this planet. So if you're in the western part of this country, we've been in a drought for over 20 years.
Mhm.
And if you're in the southern part of the country, we've been over inundated with rain and hurricanes over the past 20 years. So you need that insurance, because if you're in Florida or Georgia, or if you're in California or Arizona, you're dealing with the extremes. The drought and the heavy rain. Keep
So
going.
that's totally a great point, right? So making sure that you're covered in the effect that something were to happen, right? National disaster. The other thing that we're seeing right now in Michigan is that due to hemp and some other, and moving into the cannabis space with some synthetics and a host of other things, the price has dropped dramatically on what pounds are. So the other way is for you to protect your revenue. Y'all didn't know that can happen, but that can only happen with hemp. We can't do it with cannabis. So you can actually get crop insurance that when your revenue or what you've been selling has dramatically dropped, you can actually get coverage for that, right? Pretty much saying, hey, listen, I went in, we put in, and usually we yield $100,000 a year, but because of the price has dropped so dramatically, we're only going to be able to get 60. You can actually have coverage, crop insurance that does that. Y'all didn't know that. Y'all didn't know that, did you? You didn't know that.
People knew that.
And that's called revenue-based crop insurance. Write it down. Call me about it. All right. So we are licensed to be able to offer this in all 50 states, right? We can also, and when I say we, I'm talking about Candace Capital. That's my insurance agency. We are licensed to do CBD, hemp in all 50 states. Anybody that can do it. So we can not only do those and franchise packages, but especially so if you are in hemp and you're doing oil and flower, we can do a package for insurance coverage for everything that you have, but then also crop insurance, right? And crop insurance is really serious. It takes me about 3 days to put in the application. They ask a whole lot of questions, but it's well worth it.
Okay.
Right?
All
right, cool. So let's take some of these questions really quick. Okay. Ms. Raj, would you throw those back up? I know the first one was, he asked about the square footage. I don't know the answer to that.
So Derek's question, and it's a good question, Derek. What is the smallest square foot needed to be profitable, and what is the associated output? So, Derek, that is an amazing question. We don't have an answer. That's one of those things that, and this is a good place about talking about when you're approaching a business, getting your experts at the table. Because what you're going to want and need are a team of experts to work with you. There's going to be consultants that can help you plan out and game out your marketing and sales strategy for what you're going to produce, the markets you can get it to, and what the revenue change is, what the revenue opportunities are. You're going to need cultivation consultants to help you with those aspects of your square footage for growing, what you're going to need to produce in yield, what you're going to need to seed in for the maximizing your crop, but then also, because it's another thing that comes in hemp, making sure that your hemp is federally compliant below the THC output. And Derek asked the extra question regarding and he made a comment about crop insurance, because, and Cimone, talk about that. What? If you grow dirty, not purposely, but if you grow dirty, like riding dirty without car insurance, but if you grow dirty and you get past the federal guideline on the THC level, how do you talk about that? Insurance, and what are the ways, and what can you do if you get that crop and it is over?
So 2 things. First thing, InfoMM has a program called Sow the Land. And if you're not, so Derek, I would definitely encourage you to become a member and be able to get access to some resources of the network that InfoMM has. That's the first thing. And I believe that the correct program is the Sow the Land. But there's several programs that we have that will probably be able to assist you kind of grassroots. And then, once you get to a certain point, you got to pay to play. That's just what that is. The second thing is, let's address that. So what we call that going hot, right? So when it's over 0.03, that we consider those products are going hot, meaning that it has more THC than what's allowed. So anything, 0.003 and less is considered hemp, but then it goes hot and it's euphoric. I digress. So what that depends on, FEMA is usually the FEMA and the agriculture, and there's other entities that work with FEMA to be able to provide this insurance. It really depends on the actual carrier. If the carrier does not come out and test on whether or not it's hot or not, there's nothing that will be that's done. You can't rhyme or reason of that. So one of the things that I would say is make sure that your crops do not go over. So make sure that you're testing, making sure that you're keeping your crops under the amount of THC. If you've grown it longer, right? If you've grown it longer so that the THC continues to increase and increase, then that can be your fault. And then at that point, possibly not get your get your coverage or get paid out. So there could be some pushback. What I would say is making sure that you have your standard operating procedures so that you are harvesting at the right time to make sure that it doesn't go hot.
Yep, that's important. Melissa's question is, it's not a question, it's more of a statement. Licensed hemp cannabinoid retailers cost $300 a year for a New York license.
So anybody that's in New York that was looking at getting a license, Melissa was kind enough to tell us how much the actual license is, and it's $300.
Guys, $300.
Yep, in comparison to thousands.
That's a high cable bill. So the cost is there, but the aspects of putting your business together, and I'm glad Cimone mentioned the Sow the Land, because if you're going to be serious about this, you've got to take those practical steps. Sow the Land will get you prepared to then move to that next step, which is continuing the building of that business so you can function. Because there's a lot of stuff that happens out here once you get in. There's opportunities to sell hemp to the federal government. There's opportunities to sell hemp to universities. There's opportunities to sell hemp in different market structures. And one of the things that is interesting is with respect to selling hemp, getting into contracts with brokers and not getting taken advantage of in regards to contracts as a farmer that favor the buyer or the processor, which leave you stuck with crops that you can't move because you had commitments, and then they find an out in the contract and you're stuck holding the bag, if you will, or holding the plants. So it takes a lot of capacity and experience. So Derek re-emphasized the question.
So, right. So, Derek, that's not what I said. So I'm going to say it again for you, okay? So when you grow hemp, the difference between the hemp being insured and it not being insured under the crop is whether or not it goes hot. Going hot means that it's over the amount of THC that it will require it to be hemp. Put a pin in that. That's over. If you have an issue and you allow your plants to go hot, then you cannot be covered under your crop insurance because your crop insurance is covering hemp. So it is your responsibility to make sure that you are harvesting prior to it going hot and that you have the necessary standard operating procedures so that you are not harvesting marijuana under a federal crop insurance plan.
Yes. And also, too, if your if you do go hot, there is in the administrative rules on hemp at a federal level, Section E, disposal and remediation of non compliant plants. You do have a pathway to remediate
Yes.
the hemp and get it retested to see if it goes from hot to cool.
Now, but understand that is your responsibility, and that is deemed
Yes.
on the carrier on whether or not they submit. Because it's the agricultural department that created this program, but there are different carriers like ProAg and a host of other ones that work with FEMA along with these to offer this crop insurance. So there is a major carrier, a wholesaler, a insurance company that distributes. So they get a chance to decide at that point, but meeting all of the qualifications for the U.S. government.
Yep. So now let's add another thing into
Mm-hmm.
the process of how all of this works. So, for example, federal government has set it up to be legal. So, what happens next? So, in your state has to submit a production plan to the Department of Agriculture at the federal level. And that can be your state, that can be Puerto Rico, DC, as well as Indian tribal governments, because tribal nations are considered sovereign nations. So they can set up their own programs as well. When the USDA approves that, then that gives you and your state the ability to set up licensing and the rules, what they want you to grow for, and the like. What are the contract opportunities? Yeah, you could do interstate commerce, you can do international commerce as well, but you have to have those two pieces in place. The state submits its plan to the USDA, Department of Agriculture, and then they approve it, and then the state implements the plan. If you are concerned or want to make sure or want to understand how the industry is set up to provide for opportunities for Black and brown folks, for people of color, you've got to do lobbying or communication at both the state level, the tribal level, and tribal nation level, as well as the federal level. We at M for MM and our national platform for public policy, we're looking at how do you create a social economic platform and landscape that includes inclusion of opportunity, that includes supplier diversity, because here's the other thing, guys, there's a whole lot of supplier opportunities on the hemp side, because the cultivators and the producers have to buy goods and services to make that farm work and make that manufacturing facility work. So you don't have to be a licensee to still participate. Then there's employment. So there's a lot of things that can be interwoven, and we're working at the federal level and at the state levels. But we need y'all to be a part of that process, being involved, joining M for M, joining other advocacy groups, lending your voice, telling us what you're experiencing so we know what to petition to be put into laws and regulations to create more opportunity for people of color.
I love that. I love that. Please, if you guys got any questions, please put them in the comments. We want to make sure that we address them. Now, I'm going to talk to you guys about two of the state chapter presidents that we have for MM who have really kind of leveraged and are running the ball in the hemp space. Well, we got quite a few. So just let me go with it. But we have quite a few that are really taking this ball by storm. The first one, I want to talk about our state director, who is Antoine Hines out of Virginia. And so they are doing, which one of the things they're looking at doing, like co-op farming. And so if you are somebody out there who has land, maybe you have land. One of my mentors has 7 acres in Alabama. He keeps trying to get me to get my other Antoine in Alabama, who's the state director, to help him find somebody. But anyway, co-op farming is a great opportunity where people can actually have shares of a farm. And as long as you're paying out 90% of the profits from the yield, then you're legal. You have to go through a lot of, red tape and paperwork, whatever. But this is a way to be able to pull your money together and be able to do that. So if you get a chance, follow Antoine Hayes. He is the state director in Virginia. And then we have another wonderful. Okay. We have another wonderful state director in Mississippi, who is Deandra. And so they have Hemp World, and they have created a franchise opportunity. So if you are not a member of M4MM, I cannot say the least. The people that are on this team and that are doing amazing things. So I think they're open maybe 6 locations and opportunities for people to be able to have franchise. And this is all in hemp. So you could be able to do this any place in the United States, any place. And then Sean has a whole POS system, all for CBD and hemp stores and everything. That if you were having a problem getting payments or whatever, he has one. And he used to be the state director in North Carolina, but still around. So there are some amazing people that have really, really leveraged this opportunity in hemp. So co-op farming, franchise, and a whole POS system. I mean, I'm waiting to sit at the $1 million table with these people anytime now. So awesome. Oh, and Miss Roz, Black Buddha. We can't forget that.
Can't forget her.
Yeah, the CBD and oil, who has created this whole product line and movement, in CBD. So there is a lot of opportunity on the other side of cannabis, and we got to be able to do. And Hemp and Fork, Eric Foster, Eric Range, who has a food supplement, and it's all hemp hearts. So I cannot stress to you guys enough how amazing being a part of M4MM is. And if you are looking at an opportunity, there are more than enough opportunities in hemp, and these people can actually show you how to do it.
Now, I'm going to tell you something that Eric Range, our chairman of the board, educated me on when we were having a meeting. So in part of my work at Banks and Company, we do work with the U.S. Department of Energy on a number of their initiatives. And so we rolled out a couple of the Department of Energy programs where if you're on the hemp side and you're producing products that can be environmentally friendly, or you're doing remediation or other things that can be environmentally friendly, there's contract opportunities and grant opportunities with the Department of Energy for you to get dollars to help fuel your business ideas and concepts. So hemp, cannabis, there's opportunities there. But in the meeting, Eric was explaining that hemp is also something that can be used for soil remediation. So guys, that's another opportunity within the hemp space, because America, in our manufacturing zeal of the late 19th century, 1800s to the 1900s, we polluted a whole lot of land. We got a lot of dirty land out here. And there's always been these efforts of how do you remediate. There's the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, has a super fund which pays for remediation at different state levels. You have brownfield redevelopment projects and programs. You have grayfield. You have obsolete land, other activities to try to remediate land for reuse. Hemp can be something that could actually spur that reuse, but also create an opportunity. And if you are a hemp farmer, it's actually something that we're talking about in another possible project opportunity that we'll be working on in Illinois with a municipality, as it relates to how they can use some of their redevelopment strategies and dollars to possibly contract with hemp farmers for farming on their environmentally toxic land that can remediate the land and produce products. So I know that this doesn't sound as sexy as owning a dispensary,
It don't sound as sexy, but let
but
me tell
damn
you,
it,
it's a lot more lucrative.
damn straight. And it doesn't, the entry point to get in is not as much in terms of the licensing. Now, you still will have all of your other business dynamics. So you can't get into this with $1,000 in your checking account. But if you team up and partner with folks, you get into programs like the Soda Land and the like. We get communities to start looking at different things of where they can contract with hemp farmers. You have the opportunities where the corporate sector is buying products. You can take it. This is another place to take advantage of supply diversity, because if you are a hemp farmer or you're a hemp producer, licensee, and you're black or brown, you could ding, 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 qualify for supply diversity programs to sell products to the corporate sector. That creates a whole new stream of opportunity. Marijuana cannabis is great, but it's one lane that's tied to an individual personal consumer, be it a patient or a individual adult user. Hemp is tied to everything from different tiers in the supply chain of creating products, consumer products, automotive, building construction, etc. And then it has a retail component, CBD and the like. But then it has another component, textile and the like. It even has a seed component for animal feed. And it has a possible application for soil remediation and addressing environmentally toxic land. So the opportunities are effing huge.
They're endless. And I think that we've been so taught to be one lane. You know, everybody that comes to you and I wants to open up a dispensary. And I mean, even, you know, we're based in Michigan, but both of us are working on national initiatives. And this isn't just everybody. That's all they want to do is open up a dispensary. And there's so many opportunities, and even bigger opportunities in this hemp and CBD space. And of course, business to business, being able to have large contracts, being able to have land that you know that is co-ownership. I mean, getting government contracts. There is so many opportunities, and in this is not something that you got to wait for them to be federally legal and all this other stuff. You can open up these business yesterday.
It's federally legal now.
It's federally legal
Since
now,
2018.
and I'm telling you, you can be insured. No, just about any business we can insure, right? So just about anything. And I want you guys to. I want to put this into your mind. When I do insurance for marijuana or THC businesses of any kind, do y'all know y'all have to give me your resume and what experience you have in the cannabis. Most of many carriers won't even take people anymore, or they give them a high premium if they don't have a background in cannabis of some sort because of the risk and the lack of SOPs. But when we do hemp, they be like, oh, okay, yeah. Good. They have this, and it's a easier coverage, and the premiums are lower, right? And so of course still very, very difficult to get, still hurdles to climb, but not as difficult. So I want to make sure that everybody understands that. Do we have any questions?
And guys, I need y'all to start asking some questions, because y'all need to take advantage of this. Y'all ask us so many questions when we're doing stuff on the
marijuana, but we talk about hemp and it's quick and silent.
Exactly. Come on, guys. Opportunity here. If
and it is not
as a 2-time cancer survivor, 2-time divorcee, and parent to a deceased son, I know that part of my reason of still being here is to help y'all have more opportunities
What
in
is
this
the strategy
space
for hemp
across the sector.
to find one
This is a huge opportunity.
power mind?
It's legal, it's legitimate, it's right in front of us, it's got multifaceted functions. Get excited about this, guys. Get excited. Go ahead.
So Crystal said that so Crystal, you probably wouldn't, you would need an agency, right? So you could contact me. I'll put my number in here and we can find out where you're located and see if we can get you coverage.
Thank you, Krista. Good person. You taking advantage of the opportunities there. Take advantage of those opportunities.
Crystal, where are you located? What state are you in? You can go to my website and book for a quote, and me or one of the agents will get back to you.
Oh,
I have
you're
a
in Detroit.
CBD
Okay.
teas and CBD vending machine. Okay, so you have a CBD vending machine, so you have a product.
Yep.
Do
It
you
looks like
own? Do you own the vending machine? I'm asking, do you own all of the vending machines, or are you just putting your product in the vending machines? I'm in Detroit. Okay, cool.
so, Krista, if you can type that response to let us know you own it. Okay, so she owns it.
So you own the vending machines and then you put them in places. Yeah,
Oh.
that's going to be a unique package. I can work with you though. We can get you general liability, right? Or probably product liability
Mm-hmm.
is going to be what we really need to get for you. And then that product liability should be able to get you covered. So I can get that for you. And I can, if you call me later on today, I can give you a quote. I can tell you how much it's going to be.
And see, Crystal's an example of taking advantage of the multifaceted opportunities in this industry because there's the production side and then there's the retail and distribution side. And she's also owning a channel of distribution, which is the vending machines.
Yeah.
So, guys, that is, she said, Cimone, you put that in the private chat.
Oh, duh. Okay.
Me is
Oh, this
supposed
is me and you talking. Stop sending
to.
me love notes, Eric. Call them. Look, I put them out there.
Yeah, she did.
How do I get it? How do I get it back to everybody?
You see comments?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
private
Cool.
chat and comments.
Duh. And I've been sitting over here looking at your. I'm through with you. All of these things. Look, and I'm just texting back and forth because Eric been sending me love notes. No, I'm just teasing y'all. I'm just
But it's so much
diving.
love about Cimone.
Oh, you so sweet. How do I put it in there?
Oh, just type it.
I don't got no space.
Oh, you know what, guys? I don't think we can type a response back.
Miss Roz, would you mind or how do I? Let's see. No, I can't. We can't.
Yeah, we can't type.
Yep, it's at the bottom. So, Crystal, if you look on the bottom, it says CannabisCapital.com. Can you hit there and then it's going to say get a quote? If you just fill that out and it'll give me your name and information, I will call you today or tomorrow. If you want to put in the messages, what's the best time to call? I can hit you anytime after 3:00. Or I can call you tomorrow and we can get you. I can tell you ballpark about how much it's going to be and what you need. But that's product liability.
Now, see, when you mentioned about getting insurance and the requirements there, so let me take y'all down another journey on the aspect of getting a license in any of the commercial marijuana sectors, medical or recreational, in any state, and for any license type, from retail to secure transport to delivery, etc. They need to know about you. They need to know your personal financial history. They need to know your tax history. They need to know your spouse.
Yeah.
Now, let's say you and your spouse going through some issues like I did with the first ex-wife and the second ex-wife. That's not necessarily the best thing to be in and trying to apply for a license in case your spouse ends up and you end up separating or something like that. But you have to go through more hoops and hurdles and more disclosures on the marijuana side than on this hemp side.
On the hemp side.
So the hemp application process is a lot easier. Where a company like Banks and Company comes in, the application part, as it stands today, and probably will be for the next few years, isn't a place where you need us to consult because it's very simple and straightforward. We would consult on things for governmental relations and lobbying or policy issues dealing with the administrative arm of the state, or if there are strategic business and market opportunity consulting. But the application side, which is one of the things we do for people pursuing licensing in marijuana, you wouldn't need us because it's very simple. It's very easy to do it in that place. So, guys, if you don't want everybody all up in your business, the hemp sector creates a different path. So we have to take advantage of all the opportunities in front of us. We can't just take advantage of one. Now, each state, when they set up their rules, they have some different rule structures that they have. I'm going to give y'all a site to go to where you can get the links to each individual state and the rules that they've put in place, their statutory law and administrative rules for how they regulate hemp in their state. So this is the national, it's www.ncsl.org, and it is, you're going to look at state industrial hemp statutes. That's the National Conference of State Legislatures. So they also have the rules and laws for marijuana, both medical and recreational too, if you want to do that. But as Cimone always will say, God created Google to give us an opportunity to have a lot of information that we can access. There's a lot of dirty stuff out here in Google, so you have to stay away from that. Stay in the good lanes. This is one of these good lanes because then you can find out, okay, what's going on in my state. Like, for example, in Alaska, they have applications for hemp that relate to higher education and their Department of Natural Resources. They have applications relating to food that are part of their licensing program. Some states have it tied into the medical research. So you've got a lot of different opportunities out there and a lot of different places to go to get information and take advantage. I know, see, we were going to talk about too, with regards to the opportunities, why this is. I'm going actually back to our notes when we talked earlier.
Yeah, because we're gonna wrap up pretty soon. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you just go ahead and close it out or whatever, and then we'll take some questions and see whatever else. We got a few more minutes, so go ahead, do your thing.
So we talked about why this. We were going to talk about why this is a game changer. Why this is a game changer is it's twofold. So part of the structure of trying to address federal policy for commercial marijuana and individual use marijuana is going to be showing proof of concept. Because hemp is the cousin and it's the legal cousin, hemp is part of that proof of concept that this is an industry that works, that when legal can function no different than traditional agricultural, pharmaceutical, or raw material products that are used in supply chain application. So we need to take advantage. And the bar to get the opportunity for including diversity, equity, and inclusion in the industry, social economics, economic equity, restorative justice, the medical research, all of the things that we want to achieve in this, we can achieve here in this industry while we're all still working on the other side to make it legal at a federal level. And we're working within the 38 states that have medical or recreational or both to improve those. This is another lane, and you can be in both lanes. So it's a game changer. Don't sleep on it. Don't miss out on it. And don't not take advantage of it because you are single minded into one little corner. We as Black folks, we as Latino folks, we as Indigenous folks, we can have the whole game. We don't have to limit ourselves to anything. Not in this day. We free. We don't have to limit ourselves. So come on, people. I'm just saying.
All right. Well, this has been an amazing show. I know that hemp is not as sexy as marijuana, but it has endless amount of opportunities. So I want to give you guys some takeaways. First off, we do have some programs with minorities for medical marijuana, MFA-MM, such as Sow the Land, which really can help you leverage and get some questions answered, kind of guerrilla a guerrilla way of getting some information out there. If you are not a member of MFA-MM, I don't know why you should be. You should be. We got some heavy hitters, and we definitely have some heavy hitters that have taken advantage of hemp. We have Hemp World, which is our state director in Mississippi. Deandra, we have Investing in Hemp, which is Antoine Hines from our state director from Virginia. We have, of course, our CEO and founder, Roz McCarty. We got Black Buddha, which is a CBD line. And then our chairman of the board and our CFO, which has Hemp and Fork. I could go on and on and on talking about people that are cashing out on cannabis in the hemp space. If I missed anybody, please forgive me. Oh, and Sean out of North Carolina, who has a whole POS system that is dedicated to CBD and hemp companies. So we've talked about how industrial and grants and being able to build business to business, but also co-op farming opportunities. And then, of course, just knowing that there is a major hype around hemp. So I'm Cimone Casson, the CEO and owner of Canis Capital insurance firm, and of course, the National Director for Minorities for Medical Marijuana, the Social Economics National Director. And I'm here with my man, 50 Grand, who is the National Director of Public Policy for MFA-MM and the Vice President of Strategy and Business Development for Banks and Company. So I'm tired of you, Mr. Foster. It's time for us to go. You ready?
Ready, but I do want to say one last thing before
Of course.
So I had a conversation yesterday with a group that is concerned, African American group that's concerned about the hair care industry and how various aspects of policy impacted the Black business position in healthcare. Now, there's a lot of misinformation about how it happened. It wasn't a grand conspiracy, but it was a situation of market dynamics, geopolitical dynamics that didn't necessarily target Black people, but because of these changes, impacted the access to the raw material production, which then cut out at the retail store side. Because if you didn't have those direct relationships or understand the changing policies to take advantage of them, you ended up getting whittled down. That's how business works. We have a chance in this industry through Minorities for Medical Marijuana to be at the avant-garde of actually making sure that we get the policy information to you all so you all know how to structure your businesses, but then you all take advantage of the opportunities that exist. There's no reason, nobody is working against us. There's no great hand that's against us. There's no the man that's against us. It's information and being a part of groups like this. Pay your membership fee and join, because an organization like this can put you in position to take advantage and be a successful business owner in this space. Don't sit and then complain and say somebody kept you from something. Nobody kept you from nothing. Ain't nobody trying to keep you from nothing. Take advantage of the opportunities in front of you. Let's go. I'm here sick and I'm still working. So if I can do it, damn it, you better get off your butt and do it. Come on now.
Nah, come on now. All right. Well said, Mr. Foster. I have enjoyed you. I have enjoyed everybody that tuned in. If you want to catch Cash out on cannabis, we are always the first Monday of every month at 12 noon. And you can catch us on all of the Info platforms, YouTube, Tinder, Christian Mingle, Facebook, Instagram, all of anything that's Info MM. You can catch us every Monday, the first Monday of every month at noon. So please share with your friends. We are back in full effect. We kind of took off a little bit earlier this year, but we will be here every month giving you all of the insight on cashing out on cannabis. I love you, E. All right. Thank you so much for y'all joining in. And please reach out to us, right?
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Cool.
Glad to be here.
We are glad to be here. All right.